What's up, Warriors fans, and welcome back to Warriors Latest. I am your host, Max Arizin. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like what you hear, as I do post new Warriors videos daily. Now, at long last, it's been a good weekend in Dub Nation because we got some news on Jonathan Kuminga. It's not that he signed his qualifying offer like Cam Thomas did last week. It's the fact that the Warriors are finally lowering their asking price for Jonathan Kuminga in a sign-in trade where they're not really harping on the draft compensation. I'm just so relieved, to be honest with you, and it's mostly because I believe the Warriors' asking price with those draft picks was what was holding them back. And just for the entire summer, having this hold them up in all their free agency moves, it was just frustrating to see. So now that they're not asking for a lot of draft compensation, I feel like this opens the range of teams that will want to acquire him. It's like, all right, instead of some draft compensation, we can just offer a solid amount of players that will allow the Warriors to round out the roster. And with that, there are teams that we're going to have to revisit in terms of potential trades that we talked about early in the summer, but I feel like new teams are going to come out of the woodwork and make offers for Kuminga. Not just the Kings, not just the Bulls, not just the Suns, but teams like the Heat, maybe even the Sixers. We could see the Lakers make a deal just because they have more pieces to work with. I more likely see it being an East Coast team that makes an offer that sort of jumps out, but I'm not entirely certain on which one. It could also be the Celtics, and that a rumor I recently heard is as the Warriors should negotiate a deal for Derek White. But I'm not really that interested in Derek White because, again, he is a point guard, and he doesn't really give the Warriors much in terms of stuff they don't have that they need. It's more stuff they already have that they don't need. That's what Derek White does for him. Granted, he's still a great point guard, but I'm not his biggest fan because we have Steph Curry. Now, when looking back at the offers we already have on the table, my personal favorite is the Suns offer because the Suns offer I always thought was far and beyond the best offer the Warriors were going to get. And I think it still stands true. They're willing to offer those 3 second-round picks in draft compensation, even though the Warriors have lowered their asking price, along with Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal, and Ryan Dunn. Now, back in the summer, we know that wasn't enough to get a deal done. But now that it is, I really, really like it because, again, I've been harping on this issue of the Warriors lacking a man in the middle all summer. Now, they're going to bring on Al Horford, who's going to help them stretch the floor, which is great. But Al Horford, again, he's not giving you 30 minutes a game. He's at most giving you 25 minutes. So you need someone that can rotate in there. Now, you have Draymond that could play small ball center, but Draymond's going to be what? He's in his mid-30s. So he can't exactly really do anything for you. I believe he's 35 right now. So I'm not really too confident in his abilities, especially after last season, in bodying up some of the big men like Joker, Gobert, Şengün, or even the likes of Embiid if he gets healthy. But on top of that, or even DeAndre Ayton. I just want them to bring a big man in there that can really just muscle with them. I mean, if you're not going to sign or even trade for the likes of Vucevic or some other center, you might as well get a young guy who's got potential but hasn't really had the opportunity to flourish in a system that could benefit him. With the Warriors, they're just going to keep it simple. Nick, grab the rebounds and pass it out to the 3-point line or pass it out to an open man. That's all you need to do, or just get rebounds, put him back up. That's it. And I think that's going to be his bread and butter as he continues to develop in this league. Now, the other guy is Royce O'Neal, a guy I've talked about a fair amount because he's pretty much exactly what the Warriors need. He's a 3-and-D type player. He's a 6'6" small forward, allows Jimmy Butler to really flourish in his natural two-guard position, and provides an open man for the likes of Steph. And on top of that, as a good defender, him and Jimmy could be the two lockdown wing players. And I love that idea of them just going and just playing this aggressive defense that nobody can really get through. And they just continue to stifle players left and right. So that's a great great attachment for a Kuminga deal because these guys aren't that expensive. And that's also what makes this deal great because you're going to get Royce O'Neal, you're going to get Nick Richards, and possibly even Ryan Dunn, who's right now is sort of a bench piece because we don't know what he can do. He's a solid, I believe he's a power forward, but we don't know what he could do, but it could be something later down the road. And those 3 second-round picks that are available to trade for the Suns are going to be attractive, like way long terms, especially since the Warriors do not have any second round picks in the future. They still control all their first round picks, which is essential since a lot of teams have traded away theirs. But having all those all those players on the table that you can work with now, I'm a big fan of that, and I see them just getting this deal done quickly now that the Warriors have lowered their asking price. So this is the one I want to see happen. Hopefully it happens quick, especially now that Kuminga is his pen is slowly inching over to signing that qualifying offer. You want to make something happen as soon as possible. Give him his money, send him to Phoenix. Yes, we may not be getting the same amount of money back, but we're still getting quality players. Now, I believe Nick Richards, Ryan Dunn, and Royce O'Neal, they all add up to $17 million a year. You give Kuminga that $30 million a year deal that he wants, you're only bringing that 17 back. All right, we've got something to work with. I love it. It's a great idea. Let's move forward with it. But there is another team that we do have to revisit in terms of the trade offer they made, and that's the Chicago Bulls. Now, I remember their deal really revolved around Kobe White because Kobe, great player, but he's on an expiring contract. And I looked at the Bulls' overall contract situation. They have a lot of expiring contracts coming off the books next summer. And that is good to have that financial flexibility, as I love to talk about. But for a team like the Bulls, you gotta have a little more financial security if you're going to be successful. They're still dealing with their own restricted free agent issue in Josh Giddey, and I think eventually he will come back. Granted, I don't know why they're offering him such a low number with $88 million over 4 years. He is definitely a cornerstone for the future of that franchise. And say they trade for the likes of Jonathan Kuminga, they've got 2 cornerstones right there. They got Josh Giddey at the 1, they got Kuminga at the 3, and you could sort of fill it in from there. You look at that team, say it's Kobe White and probably some other bench players to fill in the trade. It's going to be a good starting lineup for them. You got Josh Giddey at the 1, Kevin Huerter at the 2, Jonathan Kuminga at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, and I guess if they're keeping Vucevic, he'll be at the 5. That is a playoff starting lineup, if I would say so myself. I mean, I'm not talking like top 6 seed, but it's still a good play-in lineup that keeps your team competitive and gives them that playoff experience that is so vital in good player development. So I like that they will go after this, and I like that they have the opportunity to get players that won't be such a financial burden past the Warriors' 2-year window that they're on right now. So it is a good idea to revisit this deal, but bottom line is they need to take what they can get. The Warriors need to do whatever they can to get the best deal available right now. I mean, they're not going to get any better, say, next summer or in the next few weeks than the ones they've already been offered, as well as the smaller ones that they can explore. Now, if they continue to explore a little bit, they're sort of putting their thumb on the button and speeding up the timeline for when Jonathan Kuminga will sign his qualifying offer. Now, officially, they have until October 1st, but like they said before, they're going to pull their offer by training camp and let him sign the qualifying offer. So it's important that they move quickly, contact all the teams that had previous interest, make sure that the offer is still on the table, and then take the offer. Because I want to see them just mentally prepared going into training camp. And if they fill out their roster, which is pretty barren right now, with good players, and on top of that, they could include maybe other smaller time players that didn't fit with the roster, to fill out the trade, it gives the Warriors that advantage that they've sort of been lacking all summer. Because you look at where they are, they're pretty much the same team that they had last year, and that isn't going to work if they want to do something big this season. Now you add the likes of Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal, and Ryan Dunn. You got those 3 picks. All right, you got for Kuminga. All right, and maybe another player. Okay, you filled out, let's say, one of the extra roster spots. So instead of 9, you have 10. That gives you an extra 5 roster spots to fill out with seasoned vets on minimum deals. And it's not like these are terrible vets. They're solid vets. You got Malcolm Brogdon. You've got Seth Curry. You've got Al Horford. You've got potentially Ben Simmons, though I'm not 100% confident if his head's in the game right now. He might have to take some time off like Derrick Rose is. But the fact that those guys are available and you can get them on minimum deals is a big green flag. So Warriors, do what you need to do, get the deal done, and let's get past this Kuminga drama so we can chase another championship this year. Now, that's all we have today for Warriors Latest. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you have any other Jonathan Kuminga deals that you think are a good idea that don't include draft compensation, feel free to comment below, as I love hearing your ideas. And as always, go Dubs.